So we are almost at the end of day 2 of Romford Horror 2025, and we have just screened Video Shop Tales of Terror 2. And would you like to? Sorry, Lust and Revenge. Is that right? Are you happy now? I saw you.
No.
I felt like you were sucking your teeth at me. Right. Okay. So let's go from left to right. Tell us who you are and what you did.
I'm Alex Churchyard, and I did the wraparound bit and the trash bit and some of the trailers, and I co-directed the Studio 69 as well.
I'm Debbie Lane. I did the portrait of Professor Solomon.
I'm Singh Lall. I duped people who are getting involved in this.
I'm Andrew Boothby. I was DOP on the majority of the movie, apart from Debbie's bit and the Goyo and another bit.
I'm Hannah Paterson. I was Clara, and I directed Amityville Pancake, and I was Liz Nudger.
Man, you played a bit more on that. Another character. Had a bigger role with Liz Nudger.
She did that.
Carl.
I said that, didn't I?
You didn't know.
Oh, yeah, that was Clara, sorry.
Is it Carl?
Willa. Yeah. But I was Clara as well in the video.
For about 2 years, I thought it was Carl. I thought Alex.
This is what I had to deal with.
So this
This is why they never allow him on stage. In all seriousness, so talk to us about the evolution from Volume 1, because I feel like you kind of stepped up a notch, haven't you? Do you want to talk to us about how this all came together?
Yeah, I think when we did the first film, when we did the first film, Loud kind of got the segment directors on board, and I was one of them, and I did the Mary segment in the first film. But I was making my film Mosaic, and we actually shot in Loud's house, and he sort of turned around and asked me if I'd do the wraparound for that film, and that was like September, and then we shot it in December over like 2 days. It was very quick. I wrote it in about a week, and I think when I was there, I sort of, when we made the first film, I sort of saw the bits of the wraparound that I thought worked, and kind of tried to evolve those, and just sort of, basically I just tried to make it more of my stuff. So I was just like, I'll just make the wraparound longer, and we'll spend a bit more money on it, and make it a bit more stupid, and yeah. So that was kind of the sort of evolution, certainly of the wraparound, which is we actually shot most of the wraparound we shot before we'd released the first film. So we shot the wraparound in 2021 December, and in 2022 we shot a lot of that wraparound, and then Video Shop actually was January 2023, which is no one cares. But so we shot a lot of it then. I'm going to lose my voice now. I don't know what the question was. I'm going to lose my voice.
That's all right. I think you kind of got us there, and you've got your beer, so it's all good. So Debbie, you've been involved in this little universe previously, haven't you? But I feel like you really went to town on your segment here. And where did the idea of what you were going to make come from?
Well, I think when they first said about Video Shop, I was thinking, what would I have got out in an 80s video shop? And I was thinking things like Hammer Horrors and that kind of, the Peter Cushing and those kind of films. But then I was also loved things like The Thing and The Fly and stuff like that. So it kind of put all of that together, and I was kind of, obviously we didn't know what all the other segments were, so we had no kind of comparison in what anyone else was doing. So my kind of lust and revenge was more, lust for objects and things and wanting stuff that you shouldn't really have. And obviously the revenge is him being really mean to these bugs, and it comes back in like a karma form. Whereas obviously, I think the others were more kind of top shelf segments, and mine was maybe, you know, it's that kind of thing that I would have got out when I was sort of in the 80s going to a video shop. So it was kind of the inspiration there.
I really admire your attention to detail, and I love the fact that, like, when the camera pans around, and you know, all the book spines and everything. How long did it take to not only create but to shoot that segment?
I think the actual shooting, so literally pressing the button and filming all of it, probably took about 170 hours. It was kind of around that, just the shooting. The actual building and making of all the props, I started at the end of January 24, and I sent it to you late November 24. So it was about 10 months in total. Obviously, you have to go to work and you go on holiday a couple of times, that kind of thing. So there was weeks and stuff where I wasn't doing anything, but in total, yeah, it was about 10 months of working on it, and like I said, about 160, 70 hours of actual filming.
And I think, you know, it's a real labour of love that's clear on screen, because it's one thing to act something out, but it's a completely different thing to create what you've managed to create, and then deliver a good narrative story that was both funny and creative. You know, we can all rock up and act, can't we? But to actually do what you did, well done. That's a real, you know, admirable trait. And you know, I don't think the few times that I've met you, you're always so what's the word I'm looking for? You know, and understated about what you do. And I think we should all give her a round of applause. Such effort, and well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Outstanding.
I mean, it was at the time that I had all the ideas of what I wanted to do, but I never really know how I'm going to do them until I'm actually ready to film. I mean, the actual transformation scene in there, a little bit before it, I was getting really panicky because I'm thinking, well, this needs to be quite good. It can't be, because it's the main scene of the film. And I'm like, but I don't really know how I'm going to do this. Like, how? And things fall over. I don't have rigs and stuff. I don't have loads of money. So things fall over. They fall over. It's like gravity. If he bends forward, he's going to go. Yeah. You know, he doesn't balance. So I've got all sorts of weights hanging over their feet and things like that. But it's it's really nice that it's turned out maybe as well as it has, and people are appreciating it, because at the time when you're making it, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to, different things that you planned just aren't going to work, so you have to rework it. But thank you.
Let's go right down to the end, and let's talk about, you know, the some of the darkest humour stemming from you, Hannah. I mean, I still can't. The one thing that comes up quite often in conversation is nonce, uncle. What goes on in your head?
I don't know. It's quite far removed from my day job because I'm a social worker. I don't know. But it's fun. I have a great time being a listener.
And in terms of the section, the portion that you completely oversaw, how was that for you?
Yeah,
and
it was good.
How long did it take? And what was the biggest challenge?
I don't know. So I directed the Amityville Pancake trailer, which is right at the beginning, and that was my first time I wrote it and I directed it, and it was like stressful, like directing pancakes and people.
Directing pancakes? What's stressful about directing pancakes?
Alex would be up there dangling pancakes. You're like, a little bit more to the left. There's like a bit, we made Alex hide in the loft, and so it's great because it's normally Alex being like, oh, do this, but I was like, Alex, get in the loft and drop this pancake down when I face it. And it was really great, it went really well, but it was good fun to like be on the other end of it for a change, and it was good fun.
It was, I think you really kicked the film off in a really good way, because I mean the very first time I heard that reaction from the audience, that was like epic. So well done on delivering that. And again, you know, you're quite humble and quite, you know, reserved about what you do, and you've had some of the your involvement in that is some of the most striking parts of the film. So thumbs up to you, well done. So let's go straight to the centre now, because we know how much this gentleman likes to talk, or not. Well done in your understated elements of gathering all this together. For you, talk to us about some of the parts of the creation of this film that really excited you, what really, the bits that, you know, because you see it all, the delivery, and then you see the fruition. Talk to us about some of your favourite moments from the film.
Following on from the first one, I mean, I spoke to Alex about things we could improve, and Alex is always looking to take things forward, and I said, look, I think I need professional help, because I think we need to be more messed up. I want lesbian vampires, I want this, I want that. Alex sometimes looks at me and thinks, actually, but then he'll come out with some great stuff from some basic ideas. When we sat down and wrote Studio 69, so with Tony and Lauren, who will be here on Sunday. So we come down, this time it was more of a process, where we sat down and thought, how we're going to make this, how we're going to make this better, how we're going to level up, and we're having those conversations already for the third one, because if you're not looking to improve, then why do it?
And you know, when you actually get to see the visual delivery of the final result, was there anything that really kind of blew your mind? Because I think
Debbie is always amazing.
Yeah.
If you see the process, you'll see that's one of my favourites. That stuff's amazing. But if I'm honest, Trashed really blew me away. And Alex gave me a script. I looked at it, I'm going to admit this now, Alex, when I read it, I was like, I don't really understand this. I literally didn't get it. I thought this is a bit odd. But I trust him, because he cares about the end product, and he will make something that's fun, with a similar sense of humour. Let's run with it.
And Trashed, we sort of realised at a certain point last year that we sort of, you know, something didn't work out, and we basically decided to change a segment.
The last minute.
So I think it was August last year. Decided, kind of came up with a vague idea, wrote it. We started shooting it in September, and we shot it in October, and then like most of it in October. So Trashed was not part of that film really for the longest time, and
but it did bring it all together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it wrote it really quickly and realised it was what the film needed the whole time, and just sort of brought it home in a way.
Yeah, it was a lot of long days. It was like 4 or 5, like 17-hour days. Some of them for me and Alex. Alex had a little bit longer. It was a lot of. It's a very ambitious script, I think. Compared to the rest of the movie, which. Pardon?
I know it's a running joke that these two are perfectionists. I mean, we'll be on set and I'll be like, yeah, that looks alright, dude. No, we'll do one more. And I want to change the lighting and all that. But credit to them.
An hour later, yeah.
Andy, what's your favourite part of working on this project?
I mean, Debbie's, obviously. The bit I was not involved with at all, the bit I like the most.
Okay, from a visualist, what was your favourite part to work on?
I very much liked the first bit with the wraparound. That was very enjoyable. That we had 2 days to shoot.
This one?
Oh, this one, no, 3 days.
We did loads.
We did 3 days for the main wraparound. Then we did a couple of other bits, like for the scientist bit.
Sure.
But my favourite bit was Trust. Because we got to sit down and we spent a good time in a pub with beer. Beer's always good, man. Beer's fucking good. Working out what we wanted and what we was going to do. And then we kind of spent a lot of time executing it. An unreasonable amount of time. That's my favourite bit. Realising Alex's vision for that.
I had a vision.
You had a vision.
So let's.
David Lynch was the inspiration for a lot of that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Before
David Lynch
he
with Dick
unfortunately
jokes,
passed. And then, yeah. And then he did die, which was not good. In case you don't know, death is not necessarily a good thing. Sorry, Alex.
Seems
At least
possible.
I didn't fall over this time.
So okay, we've seen the past. Let's give us a little glimpse of the future. So, like in James Bond style,
Yeah.
you've let us know part 3 is round the corner. What can we expect?
A big change, I think. I think it's going to take us to sort of unexpected places. I think if you watch this film, and you know, you wanted to take anything away from it, from what you might get from the third film, I'd say the bit with Amber in it, with the silent photographer bit where she gets pulled into the film, that is probably the biggest clue of where we're going. But it's going to be a lot of, you know, for me, the Clara character has gone, and so something new is going to occur. And
Unfortunately, this is the first Hannah's hearing of that.
Yes. Sorry, Hannah. I thought this was the best place to tell you. Got a great DOP who's over there. But no, yeah. So I think you know, we're going to be playing with sort of genre and how the characters can interact with genres, and if they can maybe travel into, you know, well, we'll see. But it sort of it's going to be sort of a Doctor Who-esque thing with lots of dick and poo and
Dick and poo?
all
Is
the
it
things
going to be
that
your
BBC
dick and
doesn't
your
let
poo? Or
Doctor
is
Who
it?
do. Maybe. I don't think it's going to have dick or poo. I don't know.
I think
if
it's,
that really is.
I mean,
It's going to be Doctor Who, but a bit more crass.
bit more crass. Is
That's
this
what
you
I think.
missed out the bit where we're filming on the International Space Station with Lau's dick and his poo in it.
Doctor Who.
I don't know where this conversation's
I
going.
don't know where.
But have you started filming any segments yet?
No, I started writing, having a break this year.
I mean, you're not really breaking, you're writing. That's not really a break.
Writing. And
You're
then
writing next year pre-production. Or is this year pre-production?
This is surely pre-production. This is like we're having a meeting now.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we're going to film it next year. Hopefully, we get the money, and yeah, hopefully it's going to be crazy. And I love the sort of nature of this one. I think we've blurred a few lines between the segments, and you know, I think it weaves a little bit more, and it's going to be more of that, more of the trailers, more of the sort of Kentucky Fried Movie, which was like a big, and you know, and just a bit more crazy and a bit more out there and a bit more of us, I think, really. Yeah.
The thing I like most about this one is how it's more, everything kind of links to itself. The first one I love, absolutely fucking love, but this one has more, the narratives are all kind of interlinked.
I suppose
each
what
other
we could
more.
say as well is that the thing we are doing we're doing a bit of a different thing with the segments in that they're all going to be collaborations. So Andy is going to be the DOP on all of them. I'm going to be working on all of them with other people. Lau's going to be like producing, you know, all of it. So, and it's going to, it's not going to have like titles come up and, you know, I've sort of given away a lot, but you know, it's really, it's going to feel more like one film, less of an anthology in a way, I think, but with all the video dungeon madness and craziness and all that shit.
Unfortunately, due to budget cuts, we can't afford a roving mic, but if anyone has any questions, please shout them loudly. We've got a question over here.
Hannah, so this is your first time directing, I assume, and the actors can be right divas, but what was the most diverse thing that the Pancakes requested?
And also, just a quick one, let me know if you'd like me to translate any of that into English.
I did have a brief moment. So the Pancakes were awful. I would not work with them again. They requested The Blood of a Thousand Virgins, and
Very hard to find them.
again, I wouldn't recommend. No,
They didn't bleed on cue, did they?
no, they didn't. They had basic instructions. They didn't follow them at all. So, don't work with children, animals, or pancakes.
Any other questions out here? Oh, one at the front.
The segment, I love the segment on the governor. Where did that idea come from? Paul in that role?
So, I've what can I say? We have like a little producer chat where we what can I and you know talk shit like people do. But obviously Paul. So if you don't know, that the governor Paul is Paul who runs the Horror on Sea Film Festival. And I think there's we sort of like there's a little in-joke about him maybe being a bit of a gangster and dangling other festival directors off the pier or whatever. And we just had that joke, and Pete Hurren, who's back there, who's the sort of the third, that Lau and I produced, and Pete, the three of us really. Pete sort of ran with that and decided to, write a really sweary trailer, and he wrote all that, and I was, we would just pitch in and be like, well, there's Hayden and Phil, you've got to get them in because you've got to have them either side of it, and then they were like, oh, we've got to have Spencer being shot, and it was that kind of thing. So,
I'd just like to say, from my personal perspective, Pete, I don't think you should write anymore. I think I'm very disappointed with the outcomes of that segment. No,
just to dig myself out of it, I mean, I'd say it was more Tom Lee Rutter's initial joke, so I'd blame him. Yeah.
So what you do is you blame the person that's not here. Is he?
I don't know. Is he gone?
He's there.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah.
I can see him. There he is.
Yeah. Snuck in and out.
And then Tom ended up in it as well.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed Tom's departure, but yeah, that poor guy in the chair. I don't know what happened to him. Anyway, any other questions out there? Right. Okay. Mr. Forrest, come on.
Not about that film, but I've heard that you're making a documentary on Horror on Sea. Is that true? Is there anything on that? I spoke to Paul about it.
That is true.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
We need to Lumiere as well, about the evolution of Lumiere.
Oh, that would be interesting. I don't know. Maybe someone else. We are. I feel that is not the right festival, but yes, we are making a documentary because next year Horror on Sea it's the 13th year, so we're making a documentary about the 13th, about Horror on Sea generally, and next year's the 13th year, so that's where you'll see that. I'd love to make a documentary about this though. That'd be great.
About this.
So is it just this you're going to make documentaries about, or
Just
is it
this.
other things?
Lumiere.
Was there another hand over here somewhere? Yeah, sorry, I can't see you, but go for it.
So my initial question was, obviously we know that the theme of the second movie is lust and revenge. Was there any other initial themes that you were thinking about, and if so, was it a close call, and what made you settle on this theme?
No, I think so a bit like how with the title of the first film came about. I think like Lau and I were just on WhatsApp and we came up with like two titles, and I was just like, yeah, I like that one. And then I think like one of us was just like, I think Lau just said like, what about lust and revenge? And I was like, all right. And then so I sort of wrote it in.
I'll quantify that. The best films are based about revenge. You think Star Trek 2, sorry, Old Boy.
Star Trek 2?
Revenge is the best theme out there.
Right for Cowan.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is part of my life I've dedicated has been on a whim of you and Alex.
Yes. The thing is like it's like we sort of set that rule and then we kind of, I mean, trashed is that, I mean, this is like lust, what is his lust he wants to, Being an actor, yeah, fame, I guess. There's no revenge though, but like, you know, we just sort of like set the rules for everyone.
Does the revenge come in
and
the
just didn't adhere to them ourselves.
Does the revenge come in the third one when he's on the space station?
Maybe.
It could be.
Maybe.
All the budget spent on that.
Any other questions? Oh, one there.
You referenced Kentucky Fried Movie as an inspiration. Yes. Are we going to see the return of Catholic high school girls in trouble for the third video show?
Don't tell me. Is what I was.
I was actually wondering whether you were going to ask if Singh was going to appear as Big Jim Slade.
Inspiration strikes everywhere.
Any other questions? Then, if there are no other questions, let's wrap this up. Thank you very much. Video Shop Tales of Terror, Team 2. Yeah, I don't know. It's the first one of these I've done this year. Come on. Thank you very much. Give them a big round of applause.